Hello people of YouTube, my name is Steve Gray and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future cartoon and anime related videos. So today we're talking about Rick and Morty Season 4, Episode 9, and there was definitely some aspects of Memorial Day in there. So if you're from the United States, we have Memorial Day. Basically, it's like a thank you to all of the soldiers that served previously. Remembering all the fallen soldiers, basically, is the premise behind Memorial Day. So if you see a veteran, feel free to thank them, and that is up to you. But moving on off of that, Rick banged a planet. That is the premise behind this episode. They basically, Jerry designed a nice camping trip for the entire family, you know, like any good dad would do Memorial Day weekend. You know, you go out camping, you make a fire, cook some s'mores over the fire, cook some hot dogs, whatever. You know, just enjoy some family time. But no, Summer and Morty were massive dicks about it. Basically, as they are, they were just interested in drugs and video games. Morty with the video games, Summer complaining about her friend having a crazy drug party. And basically Jerry was just like getting crapped on the entire episode, as Jerry gets crapped on all the time. At this point, you got to feel bad for him a little bit. You know, he's trying to do something nice for his family. But then we learn the premise behind it. And that's where it really gets you, is the premise behind it, which we learn from Summer later on, which basically is he's unemployed, he has nothing going on with his life, so the only way to get everybody down to his level is to literally take everything away from everybody, bring them out in the middle of the woods, and make it seem like he knows what he's doing because he has some quote-unquote life skills. He has the ability to like make a fire, you know, make a s'more, etc., stuff like that. And so Summer calls him out on it, and he just gets depressed and walks off into the woods. So basically, Rick banged a planet. Gaia, her name is, like a geyser. And Beth is like, no, we're not going camping anymore. We are going to this planet. You are taking care of your kids. And it's like literally an infinite number of kids. Like he single-handedly populated the entire frigging planet with these like clay human hybrid thingies that we think are initially Rick's kids. They look similar to Rick, but then we find out later they're actually a Zeus's, not the Zeus, a Zeus. A Zeus's kids. Where basically he came out of nowhere in this giant, crazy storm cloud looking thing. But in reality, he's like a giant, big, buff god looking thing. You know, he's got the whole toga thing going on, Greek god, all that crazy jazz. So Beth and Rick actually work together. Beth is very happy. Obviously, she is, this is what she always wanted, appreciation from her father. And they developed a society to sort all of these kids. There is like the lawyers, the teachers, the psychologists, you know, the therapist, all of that. It's actually kind of messed up. They're like, oh, the psychologists are getting bored because there's not enough things to do. So they're like, oh, let's up incest porn by 20%. And I was like, oh my God. Oh God. Why? I'm just sitting there like crying at the same time. Terrible. And then there's basically unusables, or the Jerrys of this world, where he basically shoots them out into the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing for them to do. They just kind of, you know, putz around doing nothing. So Jerry stumbles across them, teaches them life skills, teaches them how to camp, makes them spears and such, says, you know, these are, you know, basically, you're not unusable. We're going to make a society here. He's like the head of that society. And then it's kind of annoying, though, because the second one of them starts to show any signs of intelligence, one starts building an actual house as opposed to like a tent where he can redirect the rain gutters and such. Ooh, helicopter in the background. Basically, what happens is he knocks down the house, says, no, that's stupid, not going to happen today. So basically, Jerry gets all of these unusables, teaches them how to create, you know, like s'mores and fires, tents and stuff like that. One of them shows signs of intelligence finally, and then he shoots it down immediately. So then it becomes a Beth versus Jerry situation, again, where Beth is suckling on the teat of Rick, as she always does, and Jerry is kind of doing Jerry things. Zeus actually bestows a lot of his powers to Jerry, and all Jerry really does with it is do what Noah did, split apart the sea so all of his men could attack everybody, and that's basically what happens with that. So meanwhile, Rick is literally fighting God. So More religious people can hate on the show, as they did in previous episodes when he crapped all over Christianity and Catholics. But basically, the only reason Rick lived was because Morty and Summer stumbled across an old alien ship that crashed on Gaia at some point in time. Morty thought it was the same controls as a video game, and Summer thought she could gain all of the knowledge by sucking what is the equivalent of brake fluid and getting super, super high. And basically, they end up shooting through the back of Zeus's skull, killing him, plummeting him to the planet, killing all of Gaia's children. So now Gaia is pissed, and she starts erupting volcano, all that good jazz. And basically, at the end of it, Jerry showed some maternal instincts. Beth basically started, there was a little love connection there after they started fighting, because that's kind of what they do. They fight and they make up. That's kind of their constant go-to, Beth and Jerry. Summer and Morty realize they have no actual life skills, and maybe they should listen a little bit to their father more. And Rick, as always, didn't actually learn a lesson, because the entire planet basically just demolished everything he did, and he didn't really have to do anything else. So the good news is we are definitely getting another episode on the 31st, at least from what I saw. So no stupid two-week wait between episodes. Woo! The sad news is there's only one episode left of the season, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So there's no storyline, really. Every episode is just kind of a fun little, Rick and Morty adventure, kind of going off of some of like what the Simpsons, Family Guy, similar shows like that, where basically you just have one adventure in the show. It goes from beginning to end. It's completed, makes you feel good. Oh, storyline, you're good to go. But at the same time, I'm sitting here wondering if we are still going to get any of the season 3 storyline at the end of the season. It would not surprise me, because I can guarantee you there's definitely going to be a season 5. The popularity of the show is definitely there for a season 5. They said there was going to be 10 seasons at the very minimum, so that is fantastic. We'll have to wait and see if that actually comes true or not. But what is probably going to happen is it's probably just going to be another feel-good episode. I don't think we're going to get evil Morty. I don't think we're going to get into that whole storyline with the Citadel of Ricks at all. I don't think the Citadel of Ricks has really been talked about, minus in the one episode with the whole Infinity Train type thing. But other than that, who really knows? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm enjoying the ride. I really am. That's all you can really do. I think that's the point they were trying to make, is enjoy the ride. Some people have been saying that this season has felt a little off, and I think the creators of the show, maybe they weren't 100% sure that the show is going to have multiple seasons past season 2, because season 1 and season 2 came out pretty quick, and then they were just like, oh, the show is really, really popular still. What are we doing now? And we don't know the premise behind it. I believe it was the creator of the show won like a contest. It was like an improv contest, and then he like overnight, basically just instant fame. Everybody loved Rick and Morty, and that's kind of how it went down. I am curious if they're going to age any of the characters, or it's just going to be like South Park, where the characters basically stayed the same forever. Wouldn't mind seeing Summer go off to college, doing college type things. Trisha there, that could definitely be an interesting episode, where she is going after Jerry the entire episode, trying to advance herself onto Jerry. I could definitely see that happening as well. Morty, based on what we saw from not this episode but the previous episode, there's a good possibility him and Jessica might be clicking. We definitely need some more information on Beth's mom. Rick's wife, what happened with that? We don't really have a huge amount of information there. It might have been the whole thing where the portal blew up and ended up killing her once he figured out how to do interdimensional travel. But we don't have any backstory on her. We know a little bit of what she looks like, but nothing serious. So, there's a lot of different directions they can go. But 9 out of 10, I don't think the story is really going to continue this season. I am almost convinced, just the way they've done this entire season, that basically what is going to happen is there's not really going to be a storyline at all, and they're just going to end it on maybe like a high note, do something crazy and wacky, more incredible than they previously did, piss a lot of people off again, These 5 episodes, though, we haven't really gotten that, that kind of merchandise type thing. I mean, we do see that there's the Wendy's commercial, obviously there's the food commercial, so maybe that's what they're going for, the Wendy's and the Pringle commercials. But they're not. It doesn't seem like they're really doing like the whole Pickle Rick thing, where they're selling a bunch of like, an episode that is a very great episode, but also advertised to sell, like a toy or a T-shirt, or whatever else, eraser, an actual pickle with some googly eyes on it. I haven't really seen that. There's Wubba Lubba Dub Lub, there's Hey, it's Pickle Rick. He hasn't really had like a catchphrase this season. They might be trying to stray away from that. Is a possibility, but they got to sell merchandise, because that is definitely a market they can easily get into with all the merchandise. So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe they're going to do something with that story train, because they said it was a real website. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked up the website to see if it is real, to see if you can buy that. But people probably would buy it if you made it, if I'm going to be honest. People would probably buy that. But I am looking forward to next week's episode. The last episode of Season 4. And as I said, we'll get a Season 5. Hopefully it won't be more than a year before we get it, with all of the stuff that's going on currently. But we will just have to wait and see. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, yet again, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, have a good one.